Greetings Wanderer, this is Atlas here, and today I'm going to be breaking down a song called Hamel from the Trails in the Sky SC original soundtrack. This is a coffee personal request coming from Velshin, so thank you very much for your incredible support. And boom! I think I've heard that melody before. Yeah, it sounds very familiar. I think that's a xylophone playing the melody, or the leitmotif, because this is a leitmotif that I've heard before in previous songs that I've heard from this game. I'm almost sure. That note right there added a lot of tension. Great arpeggiated chord progression in the acoustic guitar. I really like these really, stripped down songs. It's fading out. I wonder where this plays. Alright. It's about to end now. Yeah, it's almost like, there it is, 3 minutes. Exactly 3 minutes, actually. All right. Well, so let's break it down. All right, so one of the first things that I would like to mention about the song is that, of course, it has a very sorrowful, yearning, even pensive sort of atmosphere or tone, let's say, in terms of the emotions that it's trying to evoke. I'm not really sure where this song is played or whatnot, but it would seem to me that it could be related to a character that is lost in the video game, or maybe it could be a song that's playing on the credits or in a cinematic, where something unpleasant happens, something that is sad, and that I think that those kind of emotions that I already mentioned are very well evoked in the song, because the song it has the less is more kind of approach that I've mentioned a million times in other breakdowns, and the song has a lot of space. It's melodically very pleasant. It doesn't really take in unnecessary risks to be able to accomplish what the song needs. And the song also adds a little bit of tension where it needs to. It's a very simple arrangement, but it's very effective in the storytelling that it's trying to accomplish. Another thing that I would like to mention is that this song in particular is very different from all the other The Legend of Heroes songs that I've heard. But the cool thing is that this franchise has a very, very eclectic, let's say, repertoire of soundtracks, of music, of songs. I think this is the first song that I've heard from this IP that is like this, like it's super stripped down, very few layers of instruments, but again, the less is more sort of approach. Another cool thing that this song has is this sort of juxtaposition in between some of the layers that the song has in comparison to other ones. Because, for example, and I want to clear something up, I did say that there was a xylophone in the song, but I always mix them up. The xylophone, the vibraphone, the glockenspiel, and the marimbas. I always mix them up. But I think in the song it's more like either a glockenspiel or a vibraphone. I think it's more it goes more towards the glockenspiel, because I think the vibraphone has way more resonance than a glockenspiel, way more. And as far as I could hear in the song, this very bright with a fair amount of attack instrument that we hear. It has a little bit of resonance, but not a lot, so that's why I'm kind of inclined to think that it's a glockenspiel, but I always mix them up, you know what I mean? But they have very different sounds, you know what I mean? The ones that you could actually mix up the most is the glockenspiel with the vibraphone. However, I think the glockenspiel has a way more limited range if you compare it to the vibraphone, and the vibraphone also has way more resonance in its sound. So based on those two premises, I would be more inclined to think that that's a glockenspiel that is in the song. The marimba and the what's the other one that I was trying to say? The xylophone and the marimba have more dry sounds. They don't have so much resonance, so you can look them up on YouTube or whatever to hear the difference in between them. But certainly the vibraphone and the glockenspiel have a more resonant sound, and it's more metallic, while the xylophone and the marimba do not. But like I was saying, the glockenspiel adds this very bright, more hopeful, sweet sound to the song, even though the melody that is playing is not necessarily like hopeful or whatnot, but it certainly brings a little bit of contrast towards what the song is. And you will hear more on the darker side, these synthesizer layers that are there, sort of as a landscapey sort of arrangements here and there. Now, as the song goes on, I think it becomes even more open and more accessible in a way, because we hear that the acoustic guitar gets way more involved doing the arpeggiated chord progressions along with the melody, but the melody is has more layers involved in it. So it's sort of a part of a song where most of the layers are involved, let's say. But it also, like I said before, it has a more of an accessible feel, because the acoustic guitar, you know, is a very pop culture instrument, and therefore it gives this sort of ballad sort of tone to it. You know, it adds that pop culture sound to it, which makes the song more accessible in a way. To finalize my commentary, I just would like to say that I am surprised in a sense and not surprised in another sense, because certainly I was not expecting a song like this. You know, having listening to the other songs that I've covered from this IP, which are drastically different from this one. But in a sense, I am not surprised, because the other songs that I've heard so far, you know, they are very eclectic in a way. I did already mention this, but it would only be a sort of a common sense for me to think that, you know, eventually the video game would have this sort of stripped down, less is more, you know, very sorrowful, journey, pensive sort of songs that are trying to evoke, you know, these emotions. And my favorite part certainly was the part, this is probably a narcissistic way of seeing it, because they play the guitar, but I think the part where the guitar comes in, you know, and starts doing the chord progression, and most of the layers of the track are involved, is the part what was my favorite part of the song. So I think I'm gonna give this track, I'm gonna give it a B tier. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like and share it with your friend. Also, please don't forget to visit my Patreon, my Ko-fi profile, and my Ko-fi store in case you want to support my work further, and my Teespring merch shop. And of course, ex nihilo nihil fit.